we are told that Bob has 4 apples and Susie has twice the amount of apples that Bob has. And we are told to write an expression to model this. So this may seem like a very daunting task, but I'm going to introduce you to a tool that is going to make this problem pretty easy to solve. And this tool is called a variable. A variable is simply something that we don't know. Now you might be wondering why this is useful for modeling our expression, and that is a good question, so I'm going to show you how to use this. So simply, we can let b be equal to the amount of apples, that Bob has. Now, we could make this B or C or D, just simply it has to be something that we don't know. And we do actually know that Bob has 4 apples, but just for now, let's pretend that we don't know that. Now, how do we write the amount of apples that Susie has in terms of the amount of apples that Bob has? Now, to do this, we just have to let S be the amount of apples Susie has. And we know that the amount of apples that Susie has is just twice the amount of apples that Bob has, which is just, we're writing it as B. So we know that the amount of apples that Susie has is just 2 multiplied by the amount of apples that Bob has. And now usually you won't see this times sign written like this. You'll usually see it as just 2B, but this means the same thing as 2 times B, or 2 times the amount of apples that Bob has. And now you can see how this might be useful. And let's say now that we know Bob has 4 apples, we can put that back into our equation. And when Bob has 4 apples, Susie must have 2 times the amount of apples that Bob has, or 2 times 4, which is 8. Okay, now let's look at this new problem that we have. First, let's focus on part A. Bob has gone to the movie theater and bought $4 worth of snacks. So let's see how we can represent this using our newfound knowledge of variables. So, like we did in the last problem, I'm going to let B be equal to the money that Bob has. So now that we know that B is the money that Bob has, we know that his new money will just be the money he had previously, and then subtract $4 because that's the amount he bought on snacks. And now that we have this is Bob's new money. So Bob's new money. Okay, so now that we've done part A, let's see if we can do part B. Susie has 1/2 the amount of money that Bob has. So we'll let S be the amount of money that Susie has. And that's just going to be equal to 1/2 of B minus 4. 1/2 multiplied by B minus 4. Now, if you've learned multiplying fractions, you just know that we just multiply across to get B minus 4, and then multiply the bottom, and this is just B minus 4 over 1, to get B minus 4 over 2. And this is our final answer.